So hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. And even though I'm away traveling at TwitchCon, I'm still here for you to be able to give you a guide on how long it's going to be able to take to complete Wargaming's new Murney game mode, and also my tips and tricks for how to get through Nightmare as painlessly as possible. So firstly, let's talk about the rewards that are available inside the Murney game mode. The main reward is that you're going to be able to get your hands on the premium tank, tier 8 Japanese heavy, called the Stitch. It's got great gun depression, okay armor, and really good damage per minute. I've done a full tank review on this, so go and check that out on this YouTube channel if you want to know everything about the Stitch. The other opportunity that you're going to have is to be able to get either myself or one of other 3 content creators completely for free with new voice acting by simply completing stage 4. I'll be talking more about this in a video on Friday, but if you want to get your hands on QuickyBaby as if he was a medieval king with very eccentric voice acting, then you'll be able to get it in probably about a couple of hours of playing Murney completely for free. So one of the most important things in Murney is to pick a tank that works for you and set it up correctly. There are 6 different vehicles you can get your hands on. The Hornet is a fast autoloader of the AMX 1390. The Cerberus is like a Centurion vehicle, which is flexible with good gun depression. The Double is a fast Soviet rammer, which is the same as the IS-32. Absolutely brilliant for just chaos and really putting some pressure up. The Grenadier is a funky vehicle which can be very good if you're able to penetrate your HE shells, but I think it can be quite awkward unless you're a good player when you're on the boss. The Malachite, all-purpose, great pick for a lot of players, and the Legioferrata is an Italian autoloader that's also pretty good as well. Honestly though, guys, I think you can probably get through this entire event just by ramming and playing the Double. So if you're not sure what to pick, I'd recommend the Double and the Cerberus until you start to get an idea of the event and want to try and customize your loadouts. Now, I would set up pretty much all of these vehicles in exactly the same way. For me personally, I would like to take the Stealth Heal in one of my slots. Group Heal is a must-have in one of my slots. And then the third one, it's going to be up to you. If you're using an autoloader, the fast reload can be really good to be able to get an entire magazine back. However, for vehicles like the IS-32 equivalent, maybe even taking an energy shield can be really funky for then mopping up all of the hedgehogs without actually taking any damage, or being able to go in for some absolutely ludicrous ramps. But without a shadow of a doubt, your key to success in Murney is making sure that you use the group heal correctly. It costs 50, but it extinguishes all fires, removes all damage to a vehicle, not only for yourself, but all of your allies. Really, the key to being successful in Murney is to be a good teammate and to make sure that you're looking after your allies, irrelevant of how dodgy they play. Okay, so when you enter battle, my first big tip for you is that when you start to do the harder difficulties like Nightmare that you see me playing here, try and find some friends. I found some friends, luckily, through my stream. Evan, Double Bushed, TWYS, and Fred, big shout out to you on the NA server for coming and joining me. Trust me, going and getting with a group of players and at least playing with even random players consistently by staying in the same group will increase your chances of being able to get through the Nightmare difficulty. If you're looking for friends, you'll be able to find them on my Discord server. So, all in all, the game mode, what you have to do is drive to the little white vortices or vortices that you see on the minimap, and then that will spawn ads. When the ads get spawned, you'll be able to destroy them to fill the Miriam collector, and that which you can see on the map, which is this blue-purple thing, and then that will allow you to transition to the next phase. Now, I sucked out and died on the first phase because I was maybe a little bit distracted, streaming on a brand new laptop away in a hotel room. Played like an absolute scrub in the first phase, but hopefully I'm going to be able to help my friends here. So you spawn the camps when you drive close to them. So one of my biggest tips to all of you is don't spawn more than one camp. If you go and drive around and spawn more than one camp, you are going to be very sad indeed, and your team is probably going to be very unhappy with you. So watch out for that. Next thing you have to watch out for are these hedgehogs. They're actually incredibly deadly, and as I'm the Hornet, it's my job to be able to deal with these hedgehogs. They're a lot easier to hit when they drive straight at you, and we're kind of like having a shotgun pull-off here right now. But if you're playing the AMX 1390, the Hornet, it is your job to be able to deal with those hedgehogs. So what I recommend as well is that you get one player on your team to be the one who designates where the team is going to drive. And if you hold control and you click on the objective on your minimap, then your whole team will see where you should be going. And that will massively increase your chances of getting through, because the time pressure starts to get a little bit harder in Nightmare. And if your team knows where they're going, hopefully you've marked it before even the camp that you're dealing with has been finished off, then that will allow your team to get to the next location quicker. So you might notice that on the hard difficulties, you're actually getting chased by the Immortal. Now the Immortal literally is immortal. You can't manage to destroy him, so don't even try to bother. All that you can do is use the little scanner that you'll see in the center of your screen, actually not in the center of your screen, above your minimap, that lets you know how close the Immortal is. What you want to do at the start of the battle, if you're the person who's leading your group, is drive in a certain direction and see if that Immortal scanner bar increases. If the Immortal scanner bar increases, that lets you know that the Immortal is directly in front of you. So maybe adapt, adjust, drive the other way towards a different camp and avoid the Immortal, because without a shadow of a doubt, it is very tricky to be able to deal with the Immortal and a camp at the same time, and it can cause panic amongst inexperienced players, and so watch out for that. And dealing with these camps, it's really just a case of trying to get as much damage in as quickly as you can. And my next big tip is, unlike previous Murny events, where you had to actually deposit your Miriam rather than kind of like spending it, that doesn't happen anymore. So the Miriam bar that you see somewhere, I think down there on the screen, if I'm pointing in a different direction, I apologize. I don't have a second monitor to see right now what my OBS looks like. But you see the 74 number. This is what you use for your abilities, and you don't actually have to save any of that. Now, if you have more than 60 on Nightmare difficulty, you can actually take it with you, but honestly, you're probably best to spend it, because every time you transition to the next phase, you get 60 anyway. So you might as well use it to get through the camps really quickly, to be able to help your team out, or even to be able to heal. You see me leaving the zone there to be able to collect special ammunition. So there is special ammunition you can get. For the Hornet, it's HE. It actually has less penetration, but it has 400 alpha damage. And that can allow you should save it for the boss and hopefully not die, because if you die, you're going to lose it, I believe. But saving that special ammunition and that Hesh rounds can be amazing for being able to wipe out camps and get through the boss really quickly. One of the interesting things this year as well is that Wargaming are actually differentiating between damage that you deal when you're going through the objectives, the phases here, and when you're actually dealing with the boss. So you can see which players are better at getting through the phases, aka not me because I died first, or players who are best once they're actually on the boss fight if you manage to get to it. Whoa, pressure shots here. Managed to make them. And then this is where stealth heal is absolutely amazing. If you see a hedgehog coming towards you, you can either use the boost to be able to get away, which all of the vehicles have, or importantly, you can use that stealth heal. And I thoroughly would recommend the stealth heal. It's only 25, and it's a great way to get out of an emergency situation. Because if you die, you're pretty much kind of screwing your team over, unless you've got really good players like I had here for playing Nightmare. And when I say really good players, I think they're all roughly about 50-51% win ratio. So good, but not exactly crazy players. Don't think this is me picking a bunch of unicorns to be able to blaze through Nightmare easily. This was a good bunch of players who came together, who played very well to be able to get through the Nightmare game mode. And really, it's as simple as that. The other thing that I could talk about is that you do get upgrades as you go through. They're random, you can't choose what they are, so realistically your vehicle is just going to get more powerful as the phases go through. Really, what I must highlight is that the most important thing that you can do in this game mode is, number one, drive away from the Immortal. Number two, attack the same camp and only one camp at the same time with your friends. Number three, have one player mark which camp you're going to go to avoid confusion. And number four is use the group heal well. You must use the group heal well. It really is your key to victory. And don't auto-aim like a noob like me. So if you're wondering what those AoEs are, those are the trappers. The trappers are very awkward indeed. So make sure that you try to get those trappers out as quickly as you can to be able to stop those AoEs spawning. So, you roughly get about 100 Miriam per camp. So that bar that you see at the top of the screen, once you've got it to, yeah, as I said, about 100 per camp, then you can just go straight towards the Magnus. Now, you've got a few tactics. One might be that you actually just don't drive towards the Magnus until you have enough and then you YOLO in. But realistically, especially towards the end when you're inevitably going to be farming keys, it's probably a better idea to just drive in and you can be able to get the final 100 on the Magnus encounter itself. But let me clarify, you don't have to actually destroy all of these vehicles to be able to transition to the next phase. All you have to do is destroy enough of them to be able to make the Miriam left to collect, fill up, and then after that, you can just drive straight in. So I'm in a little bit of a pickle here. We've got to watch out for those losts one-shotting you, especially when you're playing a light vehicle. So you're going to see here that we actually have 82. So that will allow me to have a little bit of an advantage on the boss encounter. So if you're really struggling to do the boss on Nightmare, then maybe what you want to do is actually take as long as you can and try to communicate with your group. Save your Miriam to be able to enter. So here is my tactic for the deadly double. So Wargaming have changed it this year. So you're no longer able to just blitz down the boss because it actually has a shield which forces you to deal with the ads. I think that's a great change by Wargaming because it kind of like levels the playing field and the balancing that they can do for everyone. You'll see that I'm pressing my 2 key now to load the gold. Those HE shells will be absolutely devastating and allow you to push through some of the more tricky parts of the encounter. So what we are going to do here is we have 2 Hornets. I've told Fred that he must not shoot the boss at all, really, until we've dealt with all of the ads. Because the worst thing that can happen in a Hornet is if the ads spawn and you're not reloaded. By loading the HE rounds and trusting my 2 doubles and the Cerberus to push the boss's health bar down, it's going to mean that we'll have 2 Hornets that are fully loaded to deal with the ads when they spawn, because that is the dangerous period. The ads always spawn after the bosses have their health pushed to, I think it's like a third, 2/3 of their health, I should say, and then a third of their health, as far as I can tell. It might, but we'll see in the video right now. So yeah, it looks like about 2,500 damage in, roughly about a third. We're going to see the set of ads spawn. And then this is where you want the Hornets and those gold rounds to really start ripping things up, because this is the danger. When the ads spawn, this is where chaos happens. So look at this damage from the Hornet right now. It's absolutely massive. And then hopefully our team is going to be able to deal. I actually think I do a quick reload there to be able to get the hedgehogs. But let me clarify, doing that is very expensive. And you don't want to really be using your damage abilities at this phase. But look at that damage in there. I'd even do 1,000 damage to the M103. So after I've dumped that mag in, now I want to save, not shoot the boss anymore, and nearly get myself killed there. And yeah, wow, I took 1,000 damage. And then now I'm loaded again for when the ads spawn. And then this hopefully will be some serious damage as well. Look at that, 400, 400, 400. I'm going to switch to the other target. Maybe I should have finished off the Hornet there, but I really wanted to get rid of the Lynx, and I actually screw up. I kind of panicked there, not going to lie. Definitely suboptimal play by me on this laptop that I was using to be able to get through this mode. And uh-oh, come on. Somebody's got to get that hedgehog right. I'm giving it a little bit of the wigs. 2 hedgehogs. Oh, nice. My friends bail me out of trouble. I get that shot in. Hopefully going to get the other one as well. Save my friend. Actually, it splashes and still deals 500 to them, which is a little bit awkward. And we get the Cerberus. And luckily, now you don't have to tell your team to stop shooting the bosses. Otherwise, they might spawn more ads. So now the whole team actually has to focus on the ads until they have been purged. And then you can start to focus on the bosses again. And you'll see there how important those group heals are. I saved my friend in the double. Which one? Who was it? It wasn't Evan. Is that Double Bush playing his double? It was Double Bush playing his double. We save him with the group heal there. And we get 60 Miriam, Murney, whatever it is, between the phases. So don't save your energy. Don't save your energy unless you've got way more than 60. Might as well spend it and use it. Now, at this stage, again, we've got those HE shells loaded. And these are the danger periods. Not good marksmanship there by me. And, oh, I don't want to get caught here. So we're just going to fire a shot in to track the charger and put another one into the Cerberus as well. If you do have an opportunity to finish off vehicles, of course you should. However, let me tell you, you get more Miriam by doing at least one shot of damage to lots of targets. Now, only do that if you think that your team is good enough to allow you to do that. But, oh, that's a really bad shot. Luckily, we evade the charger anyway. But just be careful with doing that tactic where you try and damage as many of the different ads at least once. And look at what this Hornet is doing. Sets me on fire twice. Absolutely awful stuff there. And I got to be careful now because I don't have enough Miriam to be able to even do a stealth heal to be able to get back. But yeah, if you can manage to shoot the vehicles once, then that will be an advantage for you because you'll be able to collect more Miriam, which will give you more energy to be able to heal your friends more. And man, look at what those doubles are able to do with just crushing in. And it's not showing you the difference in the damage of what you're doing on the boss and what you're doing in the what you're doing on the phases, but it will actually show you in the post-game stats who is doing the most damage on the boss. And if you've played in the way that I have, where you're not using all of your special ammunition on the phases, it will allow you to be able to get through the boss safer. And look at this, full health. We got ourselves our 60 Miriam, and me and Fred are saving our rounds once again. When you go for this second stage of the boss encounter where they get their health back, the ads instantly spawn. So hopefully you're ready in your light tanks to be able to finish off the dangerous vehicles. Let me tell you, those Cerberuses, they're incredibly dangerous actually, really high damage per minute. Evan goes in and destroys the Cerberus with a great ram, and I'm going to be on reload right now, and I'm definitely not going to use my my 50 of my energy to reset. Don't waste it. You got to use it for more important periods. Get through the danger phases with those burst encounters, but this isn't really the danger phase when the doubles are just doing their thing. One thing you would have seen there as well is that if you go within that red energy shield of the deadly double, it will drain your Miriam. And if it drains your Miriam, then you won't be able to do things like heal or help your friends. So as you can see, both of the Hornets are not firing until the ads spawn. And when the ads spawn, we're going to absolutely raid those vehicles' hit points. And then hopefully we can get this trapper out. Oh, beautiful shots there. Maybe I'm starting to warm up on the laptop a little bit. Finish off the trapper. Now there's no more AoEs for my team to dodge. But unfortunately, looks like Evan gets shut down. And I'm just trying to reload to get this hedgehog in here. I do manage to finish them off. We're in a little bit of an awkward situation where I have to do a stealth heal. And this Cerberus was just absolutely getting me. I finished them off rather than finishing the hedgehogs off. But that's actually a little bit awkward because it means that now we have double bushed evading those hedgehogs and he gets shut down by the boss. So I don't know, was it right for me to go for the Cerberus? Should I have gone for the hedgehogs there? It's kind of my job in the Hornet. And unfortunately, we've lost 2 players. And we're going to have to get through the rest of these 5,000 hit points. So again, I'm not sure if I'm going to fire here. I feel like I've got to save my rounds, or am I going to just fire? I guess we've got to push because we've only got 2 minutes left. And now I'm in this awkward phase of ads are going to spawn and I'm not loaded. And I thought we were done, honestly. I thought we were completely done at this stage. I got to survive 5 seconds, and so I'm going to boost and just try and avoid the shells and try to get as much attention on me. But I've got to also get this Cerberus out. Should I go for the Alpha Hedgehog? Oh, I missed my shot like a donkey there. Should probably get this Lynx out. And wow, I don't know how we're surviving this. I have no idea. Look at this just absolute chaos. But we're covering each other. Look at that. I'm managing to give Fred a little bit of respite from his Hornet problem. Not his Hornet problem, his Hedgehog problem. And great kiting here. But I'm really worried about this Hornet setting me on fire now. But here comes the next Hedgehog. Oh! Luckily, because we've dealt a lot of damage, we're getting a lot of Miriam, and that allows us to use our abilities. And then hopefully I can get rid of this Hornet. And then now, just one more Cerberus to deal with. And then we can go back on the corrupted M103 in this deadly double. So I'm going over here because I want to heal my friend. So we managed to heal up TWYS, avoid the HE shell from the Sturmbringer. And now all we have to do is get rid of the corrupted Cerberus. And then now, it's time. We have 1 minute and 30 seconds to be able to finish them off. We put in 1 shell. Do I set them on fire? Or is that actually... Probably, yeah, it's got to be me, I think, who's managed to set the Sturmbringer on fire. So even non-penetrating HE shells can actually set those on fire. And I have to admit, the HE shells do get rather awkward right now with trying to not get caught and trying to make it work. But just take your time, avoid them, and just make sure you always have hopefully about 25 Miriam so you can use the stealth heal And the stealth heal is brilliant for getting out of trouble. And look, it wasn't the cleanest kill, but hopefully that rawness will help some of you who are trying to get this done. And that is how you can get through the nightmare difficulty for Murney and get yourself some sweet rewards. So I've calculated exactly how many keys it is going to cost you to be able to get through all 16 stages of this event, so you can be able to get yourself the stitch for free. And there's no easy way to say this. It's actually quite expensive. Now, you can buy the keys for gold, but it would cost you 30,000 gold to get a C-grade premium tank. So 10 out of 10, don't recommend buying keys for gold. If you don't have the time to play, you're probably best to buy the big bundle and get yourself the T3 Jaeger, which is a tier 9 German premium tank destroyer that's been buffed, but it's still not the best, but at least it's not terrible. And you'll get yourself 700 keys that you can use to be able to get the stitch as well. But hopefully you're going to actually grind through the event so that you can be able to get the stitch for free. And if your plan is to do that, I've broken down exactly how many keys you're going to have to get. So if you're able to complete Nightmare and you do all of their extra bonuses, which reduces the amount of keys, it's going to be 590. Now, 590 at 10 keys a pop is 59 games of this game mode. Considering that it takes about 20 minutes to be able to get through the Nightmare game mode, that is pretty much about 20 hours of grinding to be able to get yourself the stitch. That is some quite substantial commitment to be able to get your hands on it. Realistically, the fastest way for the majority of people to be able to get keys the quickest will be to just do your daily vehicle mission, where you have to deal 5,000 damage, which is super simple to deal, and then just play the normal difficulty. You'll be able to get through faster, you'll be able to complete those daily missions quicker, and you'll be able to get yourself more keys. But keep in mind that this event is running until the 1st of November, which is over 2 weeks. And that is why Wargaming is making the grind quite substantial. If you want to be able to get the vehicle completely for free, you're going to be having to target about 35 keys a day, which is roughly about an hour of play every day for the next 16 days. So do I think it's worth it? It's quite a big time commitment, but when you compare it to a lot of other Wargaming's marathons, honestly, it's not too bad. The only problem with this game mode is that unless it is to your taste, a lot of people might not want to be doing this for 16 hours or so. So what I recommend mentally, if you want to be able to get your hands on the stitch and not have to pay anything for it, is play the random queue. And when you find yourself getting a little bit frustrated, or maybe play an hour of the random queue and then play a game of this, and then play an hour of the random queue and then play a game of this. That's, of course, if you're playing World of Tanks a lot. If not, you'd probably just best to get an hour of this grinded at the start of every day to be able to get those keys in, to be able to get some of those cool rewards. And for any of you who are wondering how hard it is to be able to complete Stage 4 and get yourself one of the 4 commanders, including myself, completely for free, you can get it in just a couple of hours. And so if all that you want to be able to get your hands on is QuickyBaby, better known within the event as Operative QuickyBaby, then you should be able to do so in a couple of hours. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was my look at Babylon Forbidden Zone, aka the Murney game mode. Really hope this video was useful for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments down below if you've got any top tips and tricks for either grinding through this game mode or just how to be able to defeat those deadly doubles on the Nightmare difficulty. And just a heads up that I'm going to be streaming live on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, live from TwitchCon with some awesome mystery drops where you have like a 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 chance for watching the stream to be able to get up to 6 tier 8 premium tanks. But let me clarify, it's like winning the lottery. But even if you don't get lucky, there's still 5 sets of premium consumables up for grabs, a day of premium, some more premium consumables, some 5 times missions, a garage slot, and some 100% boosters. So we're looking forward to seeing you all live this weekend.